What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And on today's video guys, I will show you several quite interesting news. The main news for today's video is that potentially we might see James Comer's answers to tricky questions that are directly related to MMTLP saga. And guys, I have to say that it might be a real bombshell in our case, because the host of this potential interview is a well-known person. On top of that guys, at the end of this video I will show you some new details in regards to the potential paths to the resolution. And I will give you all the information that I have without any comments. So, and before we dive deep into all of this, guys, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm and drop me a line in the comment section for whatever reasons you want. And let's start with this news from Christian Shaughnessy. I have to say that we are witnessing right now that other countries, not the United States of America, but other countries are trying to solve the problems of illegal actions on their stock markets. And let me show you the next update from this field. Christian Shaughnessy wrote this tweet 19 hours ago. South Korea to end its short selling ban in March, but if you get caught naked short selling, you could go to prison for life. And let me show you this in details. South Korea is looking for a bigger stage among financial markets, and its crackdown on market manipulation could make South Korea a very popular place for companies to go public. And here's the direct speech from this news that was published on Yahoo Finance. South Korea's top financial regulator said it plans to lift the ban on short selling at the end of March and will ensure that necessary rule revisions are in place by then. With the goal of resuming short selling on all stocks at the end of March next year, we are revising laws and will ensure the systems are in place, Kim said, speaking to reporters in his first press conference since taking office in July. Short sellers have been outlawed in the nation's $1.9 trillion stock market since November, as the government sought to root out naked shorting, the practice of selling shares without borrowing them first, which is illegal in the country. Authorities have sought to revise shorting rules that retail investors said were unfair to them, and also to develop the electronic monitoring platform to detect illegal trades. Officials also planned to introduce harsher penalties, including a life term in prison for those profiting at least 5 billion won from such misdeeds. And guys, I have to say that it is a very good step from South Korea, because in general, short selling is not a bad thing, but every position should be covered by the stocks, and we shouldn't see any type of naked short positions, whether it is a long or short positions. We have to see that all of the positions is supported by the real stocks. So let's continue with another tweet that was published by Scott Drott. And guys, I have to say that this is the crucial news for today's video. Scott responded to the tweet that was written by Social Watch, and Social Watch refers to the tweet that was written by Dan Ball. And Dan Ball wrote, "I'm trying to get Comer on to discuss." And guys, in general, this is just a tweet, and it might not tell you anything, but if you take a look right here, this tweet was written by Dan Ball in response to Dennis Neal tweet that he wrote on September the 10th. And he wrote this, and I covered it in one of my previous videos. Ralphie came on What's Bugging Me and said he'd ask two chairmen to subpoena FINRA and SEC on MMTLP, Comer and the second guy. Turns out their biggest donors were Wall Street firms that enable hedge funds' naked short selling of counterfeit stock. And Roger Bjornroth wrote this. "What's up, Dan? A financial crime frozen in time. Turn up the heat. FINRA fraud. What's the share count, Ralph Norman? MMTLP." And Dan Ball, in response to this tweet, wrote his for now famous tweet, "I'm trying to get Comer on to discuss." And guys, If you don't know who Dan Ball is, and definitely if you live in the United States, you know who this person is, but for the people like I am, he's the host of Real America with Dan Ball podcast. He has a huge experience and he's a very respectful person in the social media space. Definitely another person that you might know is Charles V. Payne, but for now it is basically for the first time when Dan Ball will ask, potentially will ask James Comer tricky questions in regards to MMTLP saga. And definitely this might be a huge breakthrough in our case. And let me show you what did Social Watch write in regards to this news. He wrote, MMTLP, life is good. Dan Ball, thank you. Over 65,000 investors lost everything due to fraud. No answers for over 639 days. Need help. And Scott Roth responded this. If the US District Court judge in Vermont does exactly what we motioned for, that FINRA turns in the blue sheets for MMTLP under seal, Comer, Normand and Sessions will not have job security. Once the blue sheets are in the wild, all the fraud in MMTLP will make Sammy, Enron and Madoff look like simple street-side shell game players in comparison. And guys, you know that Scott Roth is in the process of litigation and he filed a RICO lawsuit just a couple of months ago, and he is extremely active in our community right now, and he is one of our current headliners who are pushing our case forward, and he's smashing all the obstacles on his way to our main goal. On top of that, guys, take a look right here. Kristen Shaughnessy also wrote this tweet, and you know that she has a lot of experience in the field of investigations and she knows a lot about the problems on the US stock market, and she doesn't like to mention any type of tickers in her tweets, but this is a completely different story. And 13 hours ago she wrote this. Patrick McHenry went to bat for big banks in a way he refuses to do for MMTLP. And all MMTLP investors want is the consolidated, independent, audited aggregate share count. And guys, this news is not related to the MMTLP saga in general, but we have quite a good comparison of the problems MMTLP saga and big banks capital reserve requirements. And definitely MMTLP story is not the only problem on the US stock market, but it is one of the biggest that can be the key to the fair and transparent markets in general. And guys, we all have to do our best in order to push our case forward and in order to achieve this goal. On top of that, guys, you can see that this tweet was reposted and was answered by RareDD. He just wrote this. Wow, MMTLP. He didn't expect that Kristen Shaughnessy will mention MMTLP in her tweet. But yes, sometimes it happens. And let me show you another tweet that was written by RareDD. And he makes another set of questions, and he makes this due diligence in regards to the SEC lawyer blog post. And he wrote, from another SEC lawyer 101 blog post, how does a sponsoring market maker get a ticker? From 211 and Rule 15C-211. The private company seeking to go public should have at least 1 million shares outstanding, of which at least 250,000 are free trading shares. While not specifically in reference to 15C-211 exceptions in which a Form 211 isn't required, I wonder if the market participants that entered the fraudulent and outdated information in whatever document was required also lied about the number of outstanding and free trading shares. Hamilton seems pretty knowledgeable about the fact that current information is a requirement, but she never mentions that this was lacking in her account of how MMTLP became tradable. It's safe to say that her blog is FINRA approved. Why SEC? And I have to say that how it is even possible that the person who is responsible for all the legal decisions in SEC, why in the world she doesn't mention in her block about the violations of 15C-211 rules, on top of other rules like 6490. And definitely it raises even more questions. You can see the screenshots from her blog post, and here you can see that the private company seeking to go public should have at least 1 million shares outstanding, in which at least 250,000 are free trading shares. And I have to admit that when MMTLP became tradable, from the legal standpoint, this rule was violated. And in this case, MMTLP shouldn't have an ability to be tradable at that moment. And that is why, guys, it is another evidence how FINRA is hiding their actions that they don't want to disclose. So, and let's take a look on this tweet, on the set of tweets that were written by Mark Basile. And yesterday I covered this tweet. And by the way, it is very important to understand that a lot of people right after my yesterday's video wrote me in the description, in the comment section, that I don't know nothing, and again I'm making these videos just to gain some profits. And guys, you know that I'm a trader, and I'm quite successful trader, and I do these videos just to help you. I am not an MMTLP shareholder, and each and every video that I published in regards to MMTLP case gives me from 10 all the way up to $18 at most. But if you divide it by the hours of my hard work dedicated to the investigation and to making these videos in general, you will see that it is just a couple of dollars, literally $2 per hour of my hard work. And guys, probably you don't know, but I have an offline students, and I charge them $100 per 1 hour of my work. That is why, guys, it is completely irrelevant that I make these videos on a daily basis in order to just collect $20 a day. It is not the case. I just want to help you. And let me again show you these tweets, these opinions of Mark Basile in regards to the potential path to the resolution. And for now, we have a response from Busy Brands, and I will also show you his opinion. So let's start one by one, without any of my comments. It's really time to abandon some of the space's hosts, because after 620 days it has been completely ineffective at every level. There are many reasons for this, but the bottom line, it's all fail. It was a Herculean effort, but to think things will change with every purported nugget of information that is dug up will not change anything. It's time to go hire lawyers and put litigation pressure to get a resolution. Whether it is court cases, thousands of arbitrations or whatever, even in new class actions. The computer online efforts have failed. Media efforts failed. Strategic congressional efforts failed. Online leadership has failed. Getting the naked attention of politicians was easy. Getting them to do something other than circus shows, impossible. So now most of the MMTLP community are at serious crossroads. I have spoken to many of you, that's right, Karma, and some of you are taking action. Good, that should help. And he also added this, worth the repost. Between minions and other hosts you have all been led down a very destructive path you refuse to see. Congress is a bust. No other congressional representative will go up against committee chairmen. No subpoena coming at all. Next British hydrocarbons could have done things months ago and didn't. Burda and George have their own issues, but at least George has been and is trying to help. You were led by people who will be exposed by the second SEC investigation and forthcoming enforcement action. The opium you have been fed was a set of carefully crafted steps to get you to not take any action in court, but rather to push you towards the promise of political help, not happening. Had you listened to vote wrong, many of you would have seen this clearly, at least the parts of those pumping the stock. While that's not my client's focus, it is the SEC's. And let me show you the answer from Busy Brands to this tweet. And Busy Brands wrote, MMTLP, Congress is not a boss. Again, Mark Basile is not involved in all matters MMTLP, including current talks with congressional members and or what NBH is currently doing. One thing many of us have learned in the past 21 months is to move in silence. Move in silence is a phrase that means to pursue your goals and dreams without announcing them to the world or seeking validation from others, what Mark Basile should be doing. It also means avoiding unnecessary drama, gossip or negativity that might distract you from your path. Moving in silence can help you stay focused, motivated and confident in yourself and your abilities. It can also help you protect your privacy, security and peace of mind. Moving in silence does not mean that you are secretive, dishonest or antisocial. It simply means that you are selective about what you share and who you share it with. So, F. Waldron. And on top of that, guys, just 1 hour ago, Mark Basile responded to Busy Brands. And he wrote, Busy Brands has done a great job the last 640 days plus. But it's really time for everyone to consider that after all that time, it's still failed. In fact, several congressional leaders have flipped. Once that happens, it's a complete stalemate, no matter who anyone is talking to. I don't need to know what's going on behind the scenes. Everyone is upset now over the obvious. Don't blame me. I didn't do this. Sometimes people don't want to see what's obvious. I explained legally almost everything that has happened and what can and can't be done, unfortunately. Sue or don't sue, it's an individual call. But to continue to believe something that will get back your money is in the hands of those who obviously pumped the stock, speak clandestine to others, controlled the narrative for years is absurd. Busy is a great guy, smart, tenacious and a good strategist. But even the best generals lose. Right now it's a loss. It's been a loss since December 13th, 2022. Blame me for stating the obvious, but you also need to call a dog. No one is helping you. McCabe could have done something in December of 2022. He didn't. 640 days, he still hadn't. Palikars is the only one that has stepped up. And guys, I don't want to comment on this tweet, and let me show you that he's right in one thing. At least in one thing, that George Palikars stepped into the case, and he basically, let me show you right here, he published this document. Let me show you. It is a declaration of Georgios Palikars in support of plaintiff Intercoastal Waterways LLC opposition to defend and trade station securities, motion to compel arbitration and cross motion for the disqualification of the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority as a mandatory alternative dispute resolution service to this action. And guys, the most important part is right here in the very first sentence. George Palikars wrote, I, Georgios Palikars, being duly sworn, deposes and says under the penalty of perjury pursuant to 28 U.S.C. paragraph 1746 that the following is true and correct. And he mentioned, he stated a lot of things that was not known till this date, and I have to admit that he is a very brave person, and he stepped up to this case, and he filed this basically document, and he is trying to help the MMTLP community. So guys, I think we have to wait for some kind of steps from authorities because we've done a lot for the last couple of weeks, and we've done a lot for the 640 plus days. That is why, guys, just wait a little bit for the next step from authorities, and we will do our next step and we will fight back. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you.